What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. I'm SwipaCam. Welcome to the channel. So I just got done watching the Denver Nuggets playing against the Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle-less Philadelphia 76ers on November 18, 2021. And the Denver Nuggets are thrashed 103-89. And the story of today's game, let's work down the list, is that there was no one else to show up besides Nikola Jokic, the MVP of the NBA, and Will Barton. But here's the thing. The Denver Nuggets, when Jokic went out in the first quarter, they were up. They were up when Jokic went out in the first quarter. They ended the quarter down 23-24 at that point, and you're like, all right, bet. It's going to be a defensive game. The Nuggets going to have to lock up. Excuse me. They're going to have to hit some shots, whoop-de-whoop. But what happened was Jokic goes out, and Philadelphia 76ers went on a 12-2 run initially. Jokic comes back in at 9:32, but by that point, they were already down about 8 or 9 points. So Jokic finishes the first quarter utterly dominant, killing Drummond, killing the starters. The starters are cooking, but the guards for the Nuggets, Denver, with Monte Morris and Will Barton III, they're not stopping anything on the perimeter. Will Barton's going off 2 in the scoring, but defensively, Maxey and Seth Curry were getting blow-bys multiple times tonight on closeouts. Instead of just closing out with your hands up, chopping your feet like you're taught, Monte Morris blowing by, jumping, and even Will Barton is going too far. And so then they're just literally pump faking, getting into the lane, and they're kicking it back out. And then now Jokic's having to somehow deal with Andre Drummond and the rest of the crew, and then they're getting floaters or layups. Terrible. One of the worst defensive games of the year by far. So here Jokic is. He's crushing, right? First half. Nikola Jokic tonight in the first half has 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists, and he's 10-12 from the field. And Will Barton has 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. He is 9-12 from the field. At this point, Jokic is 3 of 4 from the three-point line. What's frustrating is that the Nuggets, when they do stuff like this, they do it against teams they shouldn't do it against. They don't do it against elite teams. They do this against teams that are bottom feeders or, going through a real rough path. They just don't show up for some reason. Not Jokic, but usually, at least 1 or 2 people will come along. Tonight, Jokic, again, he had 27 in the first half. He finishes the game with 30, 10, and 7 on 10 to 17, 3 of 4, 7 and 9. He was a -5, but the reason he was a -5 because literally no one on the perimeter was showing up. None of the guards were playing any defense. None of them. He had 3 points total in the second half of the game. It just can't happen. Will Barton has 19, 9, and 8. And once again, y'all, the reminder, they started off 27, 6, and 5, and 15, 7, and 5, and finished 30, 10, and 7, and 19, 9, and 8. And Barton was 7 of 14 and 4 of 6 from 3 tonight, y'all. But again, that was all in the first half, so that's what I'm saying, man. Literally, when Jokic left the game, the bench came in, and it was a wrap. Facundo Campazzo came in, was a -13 immediately. Bones Highland, nothing tonight. Tonight, Austin Rivers, -7. PJ Dozier, -24. Didn't do anything. No points for PJ tonight. Bones Highland was 0 of 7, 2 points and 3 rebounds, -21. Marcus Howard came in with a +3. Jermichael Green was 6 points, 2 rebounds, but he was a -8. Facundo Campazzo finished the game a -9 because they caught up a little bit at the end. And Jeff Green tonight, old man Jeff, Uncle Jeff, 0 points, 1 rebound, -1. Aaron Gordon, -2 with 9 points and 4 rebounds. Monte Morris tonight, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 of 13 from the field, 1 of 3 from the three-point line with 2 steals, -1. The bench is an absolute problem. But the reason it's mostly a problem because they're missing Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. That will fix a lot. That will alleviate a lot of issues. But the bench by itself makes no sense Every time Facu comes in the game, unless he's hitting his shots, it doesn't make sense because he's not contesting shots. Every time he goes out for a contest, they shoot over him. It's a bucket. Weak side rotations, it's a bucket in the paint. If he's not hitting shots, he's no value on the court right now. And it's the same thing happening with P.J. Dozier. P.J. Dozier had to be playing lock-up defense and hitting his threes, but tonight he didn't do either. Getting blown by, and then he got mismatched in Tobias Harris. So, y'all, I mean, I don't know what to say, man. And again, here's the story. Steph Curry was plus 13 tonight. Jordan Yang was a plus 11. Tobias Harris was plus 7. But here's the story. Shake Milton, plus 18. Korkmaz, plus 10. Bassey off the bench, a plus 20. He was the backup big. He played some decent defense on Yoke, but it really wasn't just him. It was the fact that they were literally, once Bassey came in the game, they were congesting everything and saying, Yoke, you're going to have to give the ball to somebody else because we're not just finna let you eat. And so he couldn't. But again, Doc Rivers was able to do that because now you ain't got no perimeter threat. Bones isn't hitting shots. Monte ain't hitting shots. And it's Will Barton and it's Yoke, and that's it. So they got a bounce-back game against the Bulls tomorrow. I expect a much better game. I expect them to win. My bad. I don't know what just happened. The system freaked out. My bad, y'all. But look, man, I expect them to win tomorrow against the Bulls, but it was just one of the nights. The computer, obviously, and the camera and everything is showing that it's one of the nights over here, too, bro. But it's frustrating. Yoke played 35 minutes, Barton 34, Morris 32. There's not a lot of takeaways except the fact that this bench is terrible. Again, it's the worst in the league. They're really going to have to make some changes. They need shooters. It doesn't make sense. Again, if you're going to have Facu out there, then have a big and have shooters. If you're going to play him, have a big and have shooters. Have Bones Highland, give him a role man. Why doesn't he have an Andre Drummond? Why is, you know what I mean? Like, and again, Zeke is out. So, again, I know it's a lot of different things, you all, but it's like every game we're coming back to the same point. Every game we're coming back to the same story. Is the bench going to show up? Or Yoke gets you up 2, he comes back in, they're down 8. Yoke gets you up 4, he comes back in, you're down 12. And like, all right, Yoke, go save us. He had to come in early in the second quarter tonight, had to come in early in the fourth quarter tonight because literally outside of him and Barton, but really outside of him when he's on the court, there's nothing. So without Murray, without Michael Porter Jr., you're seeing the flaws of this team. Michael Porter Jr. made up for a lot when he was on his little 6-week stretch last year after the All-Star break. He was amazing. Again, a part of that is just, look, man, he cooked. So when he's cooking, it changes everything. That's why you can go 13-5. But right now, if Will Barton is not going off, even if he is, they have to play good defense, and they didn't play any defense tonight. So it was just bad. Michael Malone got thrown out, contesting some non-calls. You know, there was a lot of bodying in the paint. People were getting hit, weren't calling a lot of things, but it's just a disappointing night, man. Like, you expect more, when especially getting an easy win like this. Like, here's the thing. And again, y'all, it's early. So we had the same conversation last year, and they were 12-11. But right now they lose, so they're 9-6. They're tied with the Clippers. Had they won tonight, they would have been 10-5, and they would have been tied with the 3 seed. Now they're sitting in the 6 seed. But again, it's just, you know, one game difference. So everybody's really close right now in the conference. The Warriors are 13-2, Suns 11-3, Jazz 10-5, Mavericks 9-5, Clippers 9-6, Nuggets 9-6. The Grizzlies are 8-7, and Trailblazers are 8-8. So it is what it is, man. It sucks. Not a great game. Yoke showed why he's the best player in the NBA in the first half. It was unbelievable. He was hitting step back 3-pointers, all kind of stuff. I thought I was gonna come on here. We was finna just celebrate like, yo, how was Yoke doing this stuff right now? He had 2 step back threes off the screens, like just it's unbelievable what he's doing right now. So we'll see what happens, man. But y'all, we got a game back tomorrow against the Chicago Bulls. I'll see y'all soon, fam.